Okay, so this is something that I get asked an awful lot of time. Which focus pads are best for boxing related classes or boxing related activity, such as Boxercise, box fit, etc.? I'm not going to touch so much on Thai pads, which are a different item altogether, but I'm going to point a few things out about focus pads that you need to be aware of. The most important single thing is when you're being punched like this, you need the dot of the pad to be right in the center of the palm of your hand, because when you get hit like this, you want your hand to close up around that. Now, if you get hit high, do you see what's going to happen to my wrist? Now, you've got to be careful of pads because some pads will have the dot way, way, way too high, like up here. Now, can you see what's going to happen if that gets hit? Can you see what's going to happen to my wrist if I move in a bit closer there? So what you want is you want that dot right in the center of the palm of this hand, there, like that. Now you can see that these pads on the screen, you can see these are curved. This puts my hand in this position rather than a flat pad, which puts my hand in this position. It's just ergonomically that little bit better. It's a newer design that came out about 15 years ago. I was lucky enough to be involved in designing them. You'll also notice that some pads have this bumpy bit here. Can you see this big padded bit there at the bottom there? Now, some people would think, well, that bit of extra padding is to protect my wrist. No, it's not. The purpose of that bit of padding is this. Watch. When my wrist touches here, my wrist is straight. If I'm holding the pad like this, and you see the danger that my wrist is in when it gets punched. So what I do, and this is what you should do as well, is put a bit of paper in there, and if that bit of paper drops like this, if it falls out, well, you've done something wrong, and that tells you you've done something wrong. But this, if you feel that touching there, that's to remind a kinesthetic learner to hold the pads so that they're holding them tight, like this. Now, the next thing I'm going to come on to is, as you can see, this is a pad that I bought the other day purely for the purpose of this demonstration. Trust me, I would never use a pad like this, ever. While you're on the screen there, just tell me which dot you see first. Can you see that? This pad don't even have a dot. That's how bad it is. Now, it doesn't mean that you should necessarily throw this pad away, although later on I'm going to show you why you should. If a pad doesn't have a dot, or if the dot is in the wrong place, all you need to do is unstitch the dot or paint over it and paint the dot in the center of the palm of the hand and paint it in yellow gloss paint. It's really important, yellow, because that's the color the eye is drawn to easiest. We made our pads with yellow dot because it's easier for the puncher to be drawn to. Now, yellow is at the long end of the wave spectrum of light and blue is at the short end of the spectrum of light. So you'd think black and yellow would work better, but blue and yellow actually works better for that purpose. So have a look, make sure you've got that dot there, and you can see the dot. Now this encourages accuracy because I want my punchers to punch accurately. If they punch incorrectly and they punch here on the side, I get rotation there. Now inward rotation is less of a problem, but outward rotation like that, you can see that's not going to do my wrist any good whatsoever. So it's really important to encourage accuracy. Make sure that dot is in the center of the palm of the hand. Now, can you see that my fingers are exposed here? Now this is going to prevent me from doing some things with my pads, such as if I've got them here and I'm going 1, 2, boom, and I throw a pad back at you like this. Really what your pad should be is it should have some padding in here. You see there's padding in there like that, and it should be covered. Yes, you get sweaty hands, just get used to it. It's one of them things. This ventilation, as they call it, doesn't work anyway. You'll still get sweaty hands. But you need to be able to have something so that if I throw a punch back at you like this, however quick or slowly, it's not going to poke you in the eye. So for safety, it's really, really important. Now let's talk very quickly about different types of materials. Now, I have 3 different pads here. One is leather, and leather is the toughest. It's the best, without any doubt. If you're doing personal training, you want this kind of pad, a leather pad. It's your own personal pad. Now, the good thing is that leather, for some reason, I have no idea why, it's grippy when you get sweaty, so they don't fly off your hands, which is a good thing. The other thing is that if you notice the difference between the size of the gloves on the back of these pads, this is a Rexine pad. We call this PU, but it's actually Rexine. Do you see that the glove on the back of this is smaller than on this? That is because leather stretches when it gets wet and it molds to your own hand. So don't go lending them to someone else. If these are your own pads and they're leather pads, don't be swapping out with someone else. Just keep them for yourself. Rexine pads, however, well, they're different. Rexine or polyurethane doesn't stretch at all. In fact, it gets degraded by sweat and degraded by ultraviolet light. It's made of exactly the same material as in your gym equipment seats, so it does eventually degrade. So these things can't stretch, so they have to be made bigger, so everyone's hand could fit into them. So if you're looking for a class where lots of people are going to be using pads and gloves, you're far better off with these. A, they're cheaper, B, they're bigger hand size so you can get them in. But yes, they do get a little bit slippy. Now, then you get to a type of material. This one I bought. It's not one of ours, it's somebody else's. And it is, this is polyurethane. Now, this is the kind that you get, which are the really cheap type pads. Let me show you the difference between these. So to explain the difference, strongest, leather, really, really tough. Rexine. Now it's not polyurethane. I don't know if you can see on there, but it has a different type of material where it's like bobbly, and this has a reinforced layer inside of it, like a fibre, if you like, that reinforces the polyurethane. It makes it really, really strong, which means it's going to last a bit better. When you get polyurethane, PU, like this, depending on the grade of it, I'll use one finger for this because I don't know if this will tear with one finger or if it might need two, but I'm going to do this quite gently. So there and there. So that was applying around about 3 or 4 kilograms of force, there or thereabouts. So do be careful with that. Can you see that that thing has ripped now on the back there? That's now ripped off. And let's face it, people punch with more than 3 kilograms worth of force. This thing also has a velcro strap on the back. I don't like that. This velcro is not too bad, but some velcro actually faces down. Can you see that's the velcro? It faces down, and when your hand's in the pad, it actually chafes your skin and takes the skin off, so it's not very pleasant. This one thankfully isn't like that, but it does have this velcro strap on. Now I don't like that because I think that you should be gripping the pads yourself. If you're trained correctly, you should know how to hold the pads, and you shouldn't be reliant on a strap holding you. Now the other thing about the strap is this does kind of, you can see there's a gap there. It's not really ideal, that kind of thing. If I take this off like this, you'll see exactly why the strap is there. It isn't to help you. It isn't to protect you. Watch this. That's why the strap's there. It's because the PU is so low grade. Now, I also learned one thing the other day because I've been doing this a long, long time, coaching people on pads. There you can see what this is made of there. And I always thought, at least wrongly, that if you're buying focus pads, that they always come in twos. Like, we always sell them in twos. And I bought this pad on the internet because we don't sell these things. I bought this pad and I thought, well, let's do the demonstration with it for the guys on the video so you can see what this thing's actually made of. And when I bought it, this is the thing, right? This cost me £8. They only sent me one. It's like, what the hell's that about? I've got 2 hands. So they sent me one pad. So just double check when you're ordering your pads that you are in fact getting 2 of them, because you need 2. Let's just deconstruct this. Now, I can't deconstruct one of these easily because they're just too strong. So I'm going to deconstruct this for you in a matter of seconds. You can see what's inside of it. It seems it's gone so quickly. It doesn't take very long, and that's it. That's what you're getting. That's what I got. There you go. That's what you're getting. That's what I got. And it is just literally swimming pool foam glued together. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 layers of foam, very, very light, like that. And that's what that pad is made of. So now you know a little bit more about focus pads. I hope you found that helpful, guys. I will do a video about gloves as well. and hopefully that's helped you make a better choice for whatever you're going to do with your classes. Oh, before I go, tiny bit of bonus footage, just briefly explain what a strike shield is. A strike shield is for elbows, knees, kicks. You can punch it as well. If you've already got a strike shield, I'd recommend that you do what we've done with ours, which is to put 3 dots on it, because what you'll find is that when someone is kicking, they won't kick accurately, they just kind of kick generally at the shield. The biggest problem with people when they're kicking is that they kick too high for their own ability, which causes them to overbalance, causes them all sorts of problems and stresses. So if someone can do what we call a 5-second test, that's where they can hold their leg level at 5 seconds for, I might say to them, you can kick to the middle dot. Or if they're more flexible, you can kick to the higher dot. If they're less flexible, the lower dot. But at least you've got something for them to aim at and some sort of mechanism in there that they can actually think about what they're doing instead of just trying to kick the thing as hard as they possibly can. So just a very good bit of bonus footage there about strike shields. There are loads and loads of different types. Get heavy ones. It does help. It does make a big difference. Good luck, guys.